Hello everybody. This is Elissa from Ink Arts and Crafts, and today we are here to kind of go through another one of my blingy canvas projects. So I'm going to blingy the thingy here. So this is Naughty Space Void. So this is by Yuumei Art. It's a absolutely stunning canvas. This is the image. That's what we're going to be working on bling wise. And I already just kind of looking at it, have an idea of what I want to do. So this canvas I'm doing as like a working on it together with Sea of Diamonds. We're doing this one together because we both love Yuumei, and you know, we decided, we had to put it to a vote, and this was the kit that won. So we're gonna work on Naughty Space Void. Today I'm planning out my bling for it, and because I really want, like, my Yuumeis are special, so I want them to be like extra special for me, which is lots of bling. So I'm gonna take a look at this one, and we're gonna kind of plan out what I want to do as far as the different areas and the bling I want to add. Just looking at the photo, kind of like the overall thing that I want to do, I'm probably going to add some crystal type drills, some crystal, maybe crystal confetti, but some of those types up into the monstera that we see back in there to give it like that depth. Because there is an AB, this brown AB. I pulled the specials that came with the kit. There is this brown AB that is going to be part of the brown that we see here. Same thing as part of the brown here, and down into here, same thing around in here. So the brown is throughout the light brown tannish monstera leaves. So that's something that we're gonna kind of like plan out in this area here. I like to attack it as like quadrants and areas rather than doing the entire canvas in one go, because that can be a little overwhelming. So just looking at the image, I know I'm going to probably add some different type of crystals over into here. Maybe some AB dust down into that one because the brightness there. Same thing, I might add a little bit over into here, maybe on the greens coming, like the plants coming down, maybe a little bit on those like crystals and whatnot. But the bulk of what I'm going to be adding special drill wise is I want to add it onto the table, because you can see how bright and shiny and iridescent the table is. And then like the galaxy shadow of our space void right here, all of those purples and blues are beautiful. And then I really want the majority of my bling to be in our space void, in our cat. Like the goldfish is going to be pure bling. But as far as the cat, you can see there's so many colors in there. I want to add a lot for the cat bling wise. So really it's going to be the cat. It's going to be some crystals up into the monstera, maybe a little bit on the other plants, but really the bulk of the specials I think are going to end up being right down in here on the cat, the table, and the cat's shadow. And that's where we have so much of a rainbow kaleidoscope of colors. So I like to have that photo so that way I can see what the overall feel is. So we've got this one, we're going to sit right here. So let me pull out, just looking at this here, we know we've got the AB that's going to sit right into this area. AB, that's Aurora Borealis, it's kind of got that that like rainbow hued aurora type coating on it. So looking at that and where it is, I want to bring out some of the more of the shadowed areas. So the first drill that screams at me is going to be this symbol right here, this darker one. So first I'm going to pull out, I know I definitely do not have the specials for this. So this is, normally I pull out the specials and lay them out. I don't have the specials for this. So I'm going to have to order a lot of specials and kind of find what works the best and is the closest matched. Some of these things that I'm planning, I may not be able to find a special drill for, and that's okay. I just want to get as close as I can. So I know I'm going to add something right into here. I'm thinking that one, I don't want it to be a straight crystal because I think that would fall into the shadow. So if I could get like a crystal confetti type drill, that would be my goal, is a crystal confetti. If I have to, I may get a glitter, but I'm thinking crystal confetti for this one. And then I want this part to be a little bit more accented. So that color is this brown 610. It's like a green brown. I think I'm going to go with a dust drill for that one. And I think that's kind of it on here. I do want a crystal, but like a straight crystal to bring out some of the shadowy areas up into here. And I'm leaning towards, let's see, this symbol right here, as opposed to, because we've got this one is a 935. It's like this dark green versus, you can see it's this dark greenish color, like very deep one. And then this one is more of the 890, is a straight green. But I'm thinking I want to use more of this shade here. When I'm seeing the areas where this one falls, I think I want that one to be a straight crystal, and I'm not going to bling up this one because I don't want it to be too many things. So I think that's what I want to do for this area here. I don't know that I want to add anything else. I'm not going to add specials to the window pane. I don't feel like the window pane needs a lot of the specials. It's always one of those things where sometimes I bling up the subject and I do nothing to the background, and other times I add like all the bling to the background and very little to the subject. So it really depends on what the image is. In this case, I'm not going to add a ton necessarily to the window. I may change one of them. This right here is a dust drill, so you can see here is our very dust drill, this 3865Z. That's going to be this brightest section of our window in what we're seeing through there, so kind of like the clouds we're seeing. I may also, because that's a lot of shading into there, I would have loved for this to be an AB as opposed to a dust. That would have been, I think, made me happier. But I think I may also add this one, this 762. It's kind of this purpley gray. I may add that very, very pale purpley gray as another dust drill as like the border before we go into the blues. I'm thinking of doing that. So let's go ahead and pop that one there. If this wasn't so much dust, I would just be like, oh, let me just make that into an AB instead, and then do this one as a dust. So kind of like gradation upward. We do have another dust drill right here. This one is going to be in this part of the sky. There as like that bright blue, or that like light blue dust drill is there. So we've got dust here, dust there. I do want to add another one because that's going to help like a nice gradation up. Regular drill, dust, and then I think I want to have that one be an AB, 3846. I think as like that brightest blue up at the top. I do want to make that into a little bit more of an AB, since we've got, so that one I'm going to turn into an AB right there. What I am going to do, I may actually end up doing it and swapping this for an AB instead. I'm going to write that down as a potential, just because I think that would look well. I'm going to jot down some of my notes as we go, so that way I'm not like trying to figure out, wait, what did I say I was going to do? So this isn't going to be the formal write-up. This is going to be like the informal L935. I want that one to be, like I said, I want that one to be a crystal. I want the 3781 to be a crystal confetti, and I want the 610 to be a dust. So that's kind of what I want for these three. Over here, we already have that AB. I'm thinking the down arrow, so that's going to be the green. So I want the down arrow. So this is going to be Monstera leaves. The window / sky, I'm thinking the down arrow is going to be a 3846. That one I think I want to do as an AB. And I haven't figured out the colors yet, because some of these I don't have the full-blown color match for, like these over here. So I know I'm going to have to buy some things. Some of them, like I know I have a 3846. And then that's the color that already comes with. I want the 762 to be a dust, and I actually want to turn the 3865. I'm going to turn that one into an AB, because I love myself some ABs. If you're a dust person, then you can do those as dust. With this, I really haven't utilized a ton of sparklers kind of throughout everything, but I may do that with some of the highlights down into our cat. I'm going to move these out of the way so we can slide this up and over and kind of take a look at the other side of the canvas and see what I want to add special wise over into here, if there's anything in particular I want to add. Normally I would do like all of it in one go, but I feel like I kind of need to space it out so I actually have room for doing this. Let's see. Yeah, so we know I'm going to keep the specials out because I know where they are and how I want them. Where did I put this one from? Okay, right there. I was like, where did I pull that drill from? Yes, it was right there. So we're going to move this out of the way. So that was kind of like the first little section that we're going to do. And now we're going to slide it over to take more of a look over into here, because that kind of covers the Monstera in the window. So now we have the next area to address. So we're going to bring this over so we can see this section here and see what I want to add over there. So these are the specials that are already in here. There's a little bit of that one in there. a little bit of that over here, and then the white is still down there. So looking at this, there's a lot of color tones and color gradations in here. I might actually turn one of these darker colors into like a sparkler, like a dark sparkler, to add a little bit more accent and variation in color. And as I'm looking at this, I kind of want to, let's go ahead and turn that on, and you can see from our photo. So if you see there, you can see there's the gradations. Also now you can see how there's a little bit more going on right in here than you first think. So I'm leaning towards up into this area here. Let's see, I probably will still go ahead and do the same thing that I did over here with my 3781 and my 610 and make this one a crystal confetti, and then this lighter tone a dust drill. I think I'm still gonna do that, but I think I might want to add like maybe a little accent on some of this lighter brown. So we're gonna see, and I do want one of these darker colors to be a sparkler, like a dark sparkler. I just have to decide which one do I want. Do I want to have, I think I might go with, let's see which one. It's always kind of one of those things where I'm like, maybe I don't grab the one that has the absolute most color to it. Because originally I was gonna be like, oh, I'll do the 823, but that's like a lot of that drill. So I'd rather pick something that I don't have as much of. So I'm leaning towards, let's see, there is a lot of that color as well. Why don't I do, let's go with this one here, because I want it to be just like a little bit of an accent. So we're gonna do the 3799, which is gonna be part of this right in here. I also see some of it down into here, this little section there, but then it's kind of like this dark accent we see right here. So it's kind of like that dark vintage stuff coming down. I want to make that one a sparkler. So let me annotate what I've got so far. Right side greenery. And for this one, like I said, up into this corner, we're going to do the same thing, that one and that one. And then we're also going to add the 3799. I want to turn that into a sparkler. I don't feel like repeating those two and writing them over here. I'll clean this up when I'm done kind of planning it out. I do think I might actually add, and then I could still use that crystal confetti. So the same thing, or just the straight crystal that I have right there, I'm still going to do that one over here as well, because there's some subtle areas of it, like right here. And then right up into this area here is going to be this 935 crystal. Well, what I want to turn it into as a crystal. And then I'm thinking I might want to add it like just up into this area, one of these lighter brown tones that I want to add as more of a special. Because I've got sparkler, crystal confetti, and dust that I'm adding into some of these like mid-tone shades. So I'm thinking of doing like this one right here as a bright one. I'm thinking of turning this one into an AB just for like those little tips and accents. I'm thinking that would look good as an AB. So that's going to be the bright tip right here. It's going to be the tip here. Same thing right there, and then like the little accents of it coming down. I think that would actually work out really well because there's some light accents of that same color right here. So we're going to do the 402. Is going to be an AB for that one. I don't want to add too much into the background, so I think that's going to be the bulk of what I want to do up into this area here. We're going to go ahead and shuffle things around, take care of these ones, and see what we've got next. L, and then this one right here. So now I'm going to go ahead and slide the canvas up a little bit more because we've kind of covered this area here and then this area. So we've covered this whole top portion of it. And that's kind of like the top third, I want to say, canvas wise. I do want to plan out the rest of the plants in here. Plan out the rest of these plants. So kind of like the ones in the vase right here and then the ones in the vase over here. I do want to plan those ones out real quickly, and then we'll go into the table, and then we'll save the cat for last because that's where I'm going to add a lot of bling for the cat. I'm not going to do anything with like these big patches of color right here. It's really just the detail ones that I'm adding some bling into. We do have a nice AB over here, so we're going to come onto, we're going to look at the vases, left vases. So we have the right vase is what we're going to do first, because a lot of times I'll make it different between what I'm seeing side to side, because there's different color drills, and I don't want to have like all of, like there's big splotches, like the color that we're adding an AB to right here is also the same color that I'm seeing some of up into here, and I already have an AB right up in here, and I don't want to add another one because that's going to overwhelm that a little bit. So that's something that I'm not going to bling. I don't tend to do full canvas swap outs where I do the same special for the entire canvas. I don't tend to do a lot of that. You'll also see that I don't use a lot of glitter drills, and that's because I don't really care for glitter. I will pull out, and once I have the bling ordered for this and it comes in, I'll kind of pull it out so you guys can see what the bling will actually look like and what the finished product is. That'll be part of the same video, so it's not like you guys will have to wait, you know, the few weeks that it takes for me to get the special drills in. You're just gonna, you know, see it done for that. All right, so over here we have this yellow is going to be the AB, and then we already mentioned that this one I wanted to turn that one into an AB as well, that 402. So I'm thinking, so that 402 is already going to be an AB based off of that. And then as we come down, looking into here, I think I want to add a dust drill because I think that would look great. So I want this drill right here to be a little bit more of a dust. So this 435, that light brown, I think I want that one to be a dust. That balances, because that helps to kind of balance out when you have a big area of an AB. And that's going to be this mid-tone brown that we're seeing here in the leaves. So we're going to turn that one into a dust. So we've got this one here, 402, which is going to be an AB. And then I want to do the 435 as a dust drill there. And then I'm looking at this area right here. This I don't want to add too much into there. I don't feel like I need to do crystals or anything that would be too stand out into that area, because I want it to kind of blend into the background. It's supposed to blend a little bit. But looking at this, and we can see how the vase has in the glasses, the glass of the vase and the glass of the fishbowl has this very bright highlight on it. And usually when it's something that's a really bright highlight, I like to turn those into ABs. So I'm going to do that one as this 3078 is the symbol right here and right there. So I want that to be an AB because this is a very bright area of the canvas. When you look at the original image, you can see how bright this whole section is right through here with that sun just kind of shining through the window onto that area. So right now there's a fairy dust right here. The white is a fairy dust for it, but I like it to be a little bit more obvious. So I'm actually going to turn this V into an AB for that bright highlight for it. So that's going to be the vase. We're going to do V3078 is going to be an AB. And that's also going to be into the fishbowl. That's going to be the over here on the right. And it's going to be the fishbowl and fishbowl. Actually, I should probably put the fishbowl separately. So it's going to be this right vase here. I want that to be that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the vases on the left. So we kind of know what that one on the right is going to look like. Now we have this one vase over here. We already have the Monstera done, so I'm not worried about that. Over into this area, we don't have any of the V's, so I'm going to take care of this one. But we do still have these two symbols. And then we also have our AB. So we have the AB of the Monstera right up in here. I don't want to add the bling of the AB on this one into that background. I think that would be too much. We've already got it on the Monstera. I may actually, and then we have some of this AB right here, this brown AB, some of that down into this area here. So I think over into this area, like I said, I don't want to do anything with the Monstera up here, but I am leaning towards actually a dust drill accenting on this side for this 402. So on this side, I think I'm going to do it as an AB, but on this side, I think I'm going to do it as a dust drill because we have an AB there, and that would be putting it next to the dust. So we're going to do a 402 dust on the vase on the left. Vase left. This is going to be 402, and that's going to be a dust drill. For that one, we already have the AB here. I don't think I'm going to do anything bling-wise on this one. because we already have a good amount of an AB right there. I could add and make this a dust drill in this Monstera leaf there. But, and then like I could do that. That's something that is, you know, that would be a doable choice. Because then I could also, like I could add some of it highlighting up into the other Monsteras as well. So I'm actually thinking like, which one do I want to do? Because we have that as an AB, and if I have it as an AB and I have it as a dust, I could always like play around and see. Let's see, but I am leaning towards more of, let's see, this is a mid-tone, so I think I want this one to be a dust drill into the Monstera on the left. We're going to also do this one 435 as another dust drill, because that's going to be more into some of these brown tones in here, and I think that'll be a good accent with the ABs. All right, so now we've got more of this plant here, which like I said has a little bit of an AB already, and I do want to add this one as a dust drill into there. I'm not going to do any bling. This one is more up into here, it's not down into this area, but I'm thinking I might want to do, what do I have as far as the colors over here? We could do, let me look, I like to look back at the photo and see, we do have some of the brightness in here. So the Y inside the vase, I think the Y inside the vase is one that we could add a little bit more bling just in the vase, not up into the sky. So that would be one of those things, not here, just right there. I would think for that one, to make it basically just this little area right here, because that's the background of the window. But I wanted to have the glass have that kind of like ethereal feel. So I think I'm going to do the Y of the 3770 in the vase only. And that's going to be another dust drill, because I don't want this to stand out nearly as much, because I'm going to add more into my cat. So these are some neutrals, and I think that'll just kind of highlight those neutrals a little bit more. We're already turning this into an AB. Like I said, I'm going to be using, instead of this color, the 3865 fairy dust that we see all through here, I may turn that one into an AB as well, just because that's such a bright area. That's like one of the brightest spots in our canvas is coming down right through there. So I'm thinking of taking that one into an AB, and that means I may take that one and do as a dust into that background as well. We'll see. It could go either way for that one. I'm not really going to add, I don't think I want to add anything to the midtones, because we have these other shades, which are these two here, but I think I'm just going to leave these browns as is. Those are kind of these midtones right into this section of the canvas. I'm thinking of leaving them as is and not worrying about blinging those ones up, because I don't feel like I need to add too much on those browns. Because like I said, I don't want to necessarily have this be absolutely everything. So now we can see, okay, so we've done that. I'm really on the fence of whether I want this maybe background. I don't think so. We'll see. We'll see. And a lot of it, when I'm doing something like this, I do like to try to put some of the bling on first before I put the rest on, to see how it looks and to see my thought process on it for that stuff there. So we're going to kind of take care of some of these. I will be pulling them back out for some different aspects of it. But now we're going to come over onto our fishbowl and our up onto the bright portion right here, with the fishbowl coming down into the foreground. So with this, I want this to be very shiny. So we're going to go with the fishbowl and the table. Fishbowl and the table. I just have a scribble going on right now because I don't really care. So we already did the vases. So now we're going to come into here. I know that I've got a little bit of this yellow as an AB. And then there is the white as a dust drill right in here. And then that's really what we've got. A little of this, a little of that, and then there are, I don't even think there's a tiny bit of this dust drill in the purples right there. And then a little bit of this dust drill in those blues. So I think what I want to do, looking at the photo and seeing how bright it is, I'm thinking I want to make this one, I still want this one to be an AB for that brightest. So we're going to do our 3865 into an AB because I do think that one needs to be the brightest there. And then I'm going to have the, let's see, I don't think I'll do the Y. I think I'm just going to do the V. But I think instead of making the V down here be an AB, because I've already got the AB portion of it up into here, on the vase, I think I'm going to take the V into 3078. That is going to be an AB on vase, but I think I want to make it a dust drill on the table. So that way it's not pure AB, because that would be a lot of AB to have this and the yellow. So then we'll have the white as an AB, and then the yellow as a dust drill kind of highlighting around it. And then we'll have the creaminess of this as just like a regular drill right into that area there. I think that would be like a nice gradation blend-wise for it. I do find myself using a lot more of like AB and dust and fewer of some of the others. But when we're looking at something like this, like I said, I don't really care for the glitter drills. I don't like the look of them as much. So I very rarely use them. Sparklers can be nice, but something like this, I'm not going to use crystals because that's going to kind of draw more into a shadowed look. It kind of pulls into the background, and I want to highlight the highlights more so for that. Now, like a crystal confetti, I'll definitely use some crystal confetti and probably also some metallics or some sparklers into the cat, into some of the colors that we're seeing on the cat. But as far as the fishbowl, I think getting those main ones as the AB right in here for the fishbowl, because this one, like I said, I'm just turning that one into an AB. The yellow is going to be an AB on this one's supposed to be on the fishbowl. So AB on the fishbowl, AB on the white of the fishbowl, and then this portion, that yellow down here, will be dust of the same drill color. So I think I'm going to divide it like that. We already have some additional dust drills kind of highlighting throughout there, but I think I might actually want to turn this color, this 3761 in the fishbowl, is going to be 3761 in the bowl is going to be dust drill only. And I think that's what I'll do for the fishbowl and the water reflection. For that one. So that's kind of what I want to use for this one here. So now what do we do have this dust drill down into here, and I think I want to make, because there's more of that same blue that we just looked at, there's more of this down into here, and I think I want to make that into either an AB, or if I'm looking at how it is on our cat, I may actually do some of those specks as more of like a metallic one, or like a crystal confetti. Which way do I want to go? Because I really want those specks to kind of stand out a little bit more. So let's see. We're also, and this is going to be the cat shadow. So this is definitely a much more complicated bling session than what I would normally do. Normally I don't go necessarily as detailed as this, but I'm definitely leaning into a little bit more like elaborate because this is a Yuumei and I really want it to be special. So we're going to turn the shadow, this 3761, I want that one to be maybe a metallic or a sparkler. I'll have to look at what and my fallback would be just turning it into an AB. But I'm going to try to find like a metallic-y sparkler type something that's kind of that bright tone of this one right here. And now we already have the dust of the purple right through there. So I'm not too worried about that. And then we're going to have this one, which is part of the back of the table there. So now what else am I want to do? And then we have like our little specks of our 3865, which we could just leave it as the dust drill for that one. Or we could actually, I like it better as 3865. I like it better as an AB actually. And that's one that's like a common AB. I think I have a ton of that AB already because I'll look and I'll see what I already have and compare that. So now we're going to come into here, and I think I'll do any of these like this 3078, I may put the V3078 is going to also V3078. I think I'm going to make that one's an AB, which I'm already covered up in here. I got an AB, so I'm going to use that one in the shadow. There's some of that, like right down here in the shadow, and I'm going to make that an AB. There's also some of it into our cat, the confetti on our cat. So we're going to make that one. The cat itself, we're going to do, like I said, the V3078 is going to still be the AB of what we're seeing over there. And then we still have this same color here, the 3761, which I think will be either the, let's see, 3761. I'm going to do either as an AB or a metallic sparkler. I'll have to compare, pull out some of those drills and see which I like the best, but I'm just going over the initial, what I'm thinking of. We do already have this as a dust drill in here, but I want all of these like highlighty specks, all of the confetti that's in there to be a special drill for that one. Let's see, we have the little fish. Let's see, so we've got this color that we already talked about. We already talked about that one. I'm like, where did I get this one from? All right. And we already talked about this one. All right. Gonna put some of these drills back so I can get a feel for where I'm at for some of it. So we're gonna, like, I don't wanna go too, the cat's gonna be complicated, so we're gonna start with a little bit of our little fishy, and then we'll go back to the cat. So for the fish, we already have this yellow AB, and then the other two colors in the fish are going to be A and W. So a 741 and a 921. And it's basically here, here, here. So that's the color gradation of what we see. We have the yellow, the orange, and the reddish brown color. So the yellow is already an AB right through here. So the orange we could easily do as a dust drill. That'll definitely look good as a 741 as a dust. And then I do want to do some bling for this 921, that orangey red color. And I'm thinking for that one, it might be interesting to do that one as like a sparkler or a crystal confetti. So we're gonna mark that, and I have to look at what my options are for that. This one's either gonna be a sparkler or a crystal confetti for that one. There. So that'll kind of bling those three out, coloring wise, and now we can figure out what we want to do for the rest of our cat, because that's going to be where the bulk of our more bling is going to come into effect and into play on here. So I know all of these little specks I want to be blinged out. This one is already going to be blinged. Any of the confetti, let's see, so basically any of the confetti and dots will be bling. And I'll just use like whatever I have from the other areas, because a lot of the colors that are these confetti dots are colors that I've already planned bling for in other areas of the canvas. So that's something that I will look at it and I'll be like, okay, we'll do this color as that. I'm gonna do, we already talked about the anchors, the V's. This is another of the common symbols, is that same 402, which we could do as an AB or a dust. I'll probably do, because that's a brown, as an accent. I'll probably do that one as an AB from here, because we've already got it as an AB up there, so it's not like I have to buy extra of it. And then as we come into here, I would like to add some crystal confetti into the cat in some areas. So I'm trying to think of where would look good as some highlights. I'm thinking one of the colors, kind of like a mid-tone blue in here. If I can, the crystal confetti, we don't have as many options with crystal confetti. This is like my wish list. And then if I have to swap it out for something, I will do that. So we're gonna go with the X, which is this 807, this blue. That one I want to do more of a, oh wait, this is, nope, I wanna go right here for the cat. This is the X, which is 807. And I want that one to be more of a crystal confetti, or like kind of having that crystal-y type tone to it for those mid shades of this X that's in our cat, because that'll be kind of throughout this area as one of the brighter tones, but I think that would look good. Maybe a glitter as an option potentially. We'll see what I think on that. And we also have these pinks into our cat as well. So you can see like the pinks in the ears and into the nose and this spot right here. That brightest pink is this J, this 351. I want that one to be an AB. J351, I want that one to be AB. And then let's see, the whiskers, those are just a straight 318, like a gray tone. And I feel like the whiskers need to be a little bit different than that. So I think those would look good as, usually like whiskers look great as an AB or a dust. I think I want those to be a dust drill, this right here, the C318 dust, and that's going to be whiskers. Just kind of accenting that portion. And then some of the other specials that we've already added bling to, we already have in here. So there's that one. And then I think the S in here is going to be this 718 fuchsia color. I think that one, we already talked about J being an AB, so that one's gonna be next to it. I want that one to be a dust. So the S718, I want as a dust as well. So that's gonna be that mid-tone pink right up into there. And then what else do I want to add? I might add like some of the features of the cat maybe. I'm trying to think of like where I could add some other accenting tones. I don't want it to be like the entire cat is pure bling. Like I would gladly do that, but at the same time, I don't want it to be too much. So I'm leaning towards, I'm thinking about doing the 823 that we see throughout the cat, which is a lot of like the outlining and shadow work of our cat. I'm thinking of turning that section of everything on here into a crystal because I think that would look good as a crystal. So the outline of the cat and those accents is going to be 823. I think I want to do as a crystal in there, kind of, or a sparkler. No, I think the crystal, because that's going to be a dark enough color that it would stand out a fair amount. Because I always forget about sparklers and like pearls and that type of things, but I'm not a big fan. I like the overall effect looks great, but I'm not a huge fan of like the pearls for squares and the sparklers for squares that are round. So I might not use too many of those. We may say like that's a lot. That's both the confetti and some non-confetti areas, which is a fair amount in our cat to have. So we may call that pretty good, because I think we're covering so many of the different shades and tones. There's still some purples up in here that we didn't touch, some grays and purples that we could easily add more into a bling wise. But again, like I said, it's kind of a matter of having just enough and not too much, because there's already going to be a lot going on in the cat. This is going to be super blingy. I may try to find some like maybe some metallic-y tones for the fish, but this is going to be a fair amount of bling already. And I want the eyes to be that same of the cat, to be that AB. So this one is the 3865. I want that one to actually be an AB for the cat's eyes, right up into there. All right, so I think that's kind of like the convoluted gist of what I'm gonna do, depending on which area of the canvas we're looking at. So now I need to kind of like sit down and look and see what bling there is actually available and what matches and works and what I have to kind of like find potential alternatives for. But that's kind of where we're at for this portion. We've kind of planned out our cat. We've planned out all of the components of this. And now I just need to clean this up, pull out the drills that I have, see what I have, and then kind of compare and then order what I need to order and go from there. So now that I have completely finished everything, let me show you what it looks like once I clean it up and organize the drills, that type of thing. So you guys were with me when we created this list right here. Afterwards, I sat down and I kind of wrote them all out. From here, I put them into one list, and that's what we see right there. And then I put them into DMC order to make it easier to find things. And once they were in a DMC order, which is this scribble, I wrote out actually what they were and like the type of drill I wanted. So for like the 318, I put fairy dust. I didn't put a drill number. I basically was like 351, I wanted to be an AB because that's all what I had over here, depending on what it was. So this is a little different than how I normally would bling up, but this is actually the method that I'm going to be using anytime I do a canvas that requires a lot of enhancements. So then once I had it in a DMC order with the style of drill I wanted, like fairy dust, AB, crystal confetti, sparkler, then from there I had to go fill in this. And what I used for that, there's a very handy file over here. This is the DP with Sparklers, Diamond Painting with Sparklers Facebook page. And on this group, if you go over to files and then you scroll down, there's two files that are basically the same thing, just named differently. You have the printable DMC cheat sheet right there, and you have the DMC cheat sheet. So I will show you what those two files, these are their enhancement suggestions that are on the Facebook group. So now we're going to go over to our files, and in here we have both versions. So the printable DMC cheat sheet looks like this. So it's a fantastic, phenomenal resource that that has been put together over in DP with Sparklers, and essentially it shows who helped to put it together. Has the table of contents, and then this one has rounds and squares kind of like combined for this one. But the other one, let me go ahead and go back. The other one, wait, that's one I just had. I want DMC cheat sheet. So this one has rounds, and like basically, as you can see, we've got our rounds over in here, and then we have our squares there. So essentially what I did is I said, okay, I want, so we'll come over here. On my piece of paper, it was basically, I had fairy dust written down. And I was like, okay, because this is based off of what DP with Sparklers actually carries. So you don't know if they're going to carry it or not. So I'm like, okay, let me look and see. So you can see how these are all by DMC number. So you see there's the different color, like all of the things that could be used. These are all the types of drills you could use to replace DMC 158. So we're going to go down to the 318. So we're going to scroll down, and I'll give you guys whiplash as we scroll. All right. So 318 is a gray. I wanted an AB, and this is squares is what I'm working with, so it's going to be off of this column. And you can see there's a lot of options here, and then there for the ABs, or for that particular color. I looked and I was like, okay, yep, they carry a square AB 318, which we see right there, so that's what I wrote down. Nope, I don't want to. So that's what I wrote down. And what's kind of cool is you can actually, if you click on that, it's going to open up into the actual website. So it's like a quick link. So then once you've logged into their website, then you could go on there and you can click add to cart and purchase. So, which makes it super, super, super like easy and wonderful and easy to work with. So I went through the entire list and did that for all of them. And there'll be some of them like right here, we can see, we'll go back over to the 402. So here we're going to come down to 402 and I'll show you how that one has some differences. So with 402, which is this color right here, there was not a direct 402 to 402 match, but what they do have is because I wanted an AB for the for 402. So I have a square AB 3853, which is one of the alternatives. Also, I wanted a fairy dust for some of it. So that would be, as I come, I would find there. So that was one where you say, okay, I want a dust alternative. And that's what you can see here, square pixie dust 3853. And then I did put as another alternative, because if I wanted a crystal AB, then you can see as we look, there is crystal AB 970, which was another alternative that I had annotated. So that makes it so it's very easy to say, okay, this is the color that I have that's in my right here, and then this is what they have on the store that you can purchase, and it makes it very, very easy if you know what kind of drill you want. And you know whether, like here where I said I wanted AB, crystal confetti, glitter, dust, crystal, AB, whatever it is that you want, or if I wanted some sparklers in some spots. Well, from there, then you come over here with that DMC number and you say, okay, I wanted an AB for that color. Let me find which color match works perfectly, because they aren't always a direct color match. You're not always going to be doing a 1-for-1 replacement of, like, you can see for the DMC 610 turned into a 3790 because that was the closest color match. So once I had done that and added them all to my cart, then and purchased them, because this, I don't really have a lot of square special drills. I just have a lot of round specials. So for this one, I did end up having to purchase a lot of special drills, which, you know, because I added so many, that was quite a few individual colors, as you can see here, that I added. So that was a lot of specials to add. I then went through and rewrote a cleaned up copy of this, and you can see how we go, where we've got our, depending on what portion of the canvas it was. So like we've got what I would do for the monstera on the left side, the greenery and plants on the right side in the upper portion, the window or sky, the vase on the right, vase on the left, the fishbowl and the table, the cat shadow, the fish itself, and then the cat. And I did annotate that there were a couple of them that I went ahead and purchased 2 bags of. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them that I purchased, I think 2 bags of, just because that's what, there was a lot of that color and I didn't want to run the risk of running out when I started working on it. So now my drills have actually arrived. They are in this lovely package. So I am going to open them up and take them out so we can see the beauties up close. So that's kind of like, if that makes sense for how I ended up doing this, it's a great way because it's a phenomenal resource that they have put together, and it's a fantastic way to be able to then find, here's my bag of special drills. It's a fantastic way to be able to bling up anything, even if you don't have the specials all ready for it. You can use that amazing document that they have. All right, so there are, let's see how many items are in this list. It's like, the packing slip is like 2 pages, because I had so many things that I purchased. Momo, don't scratch on my chair. Mochi, stop that. Yeah, so that's something that, it only went like 1 page on, or 1 item onto the next page. So for the ones that I did purchase doubles of, you can see that they're marked there. But that essentially just kind of shows us what all we purchased. And now we're going to pour out all of these specials so we can see all of these beautiful colors that I received. And these are all from DP with Sparklers. I love them as a one-stop shop to be able to purchase all of the specials that I need. So as we look at it, we've got some lovely browns, which I think is fantastic. Like these browns. I actually have a glitter, but the darker glitters don't bother me as much. And I got like 2 bags of this AB 3865. So here's a nice creamy color there. Gotta lay them all out so we can see what all I got. And I did get 2 bags of this really deep blue crystal. It's a very pretty color. For that one there. And let's see, 37.90. So you can see we've got quite the variety of colors. Let's see, 2 bags of that one, which is another creamy brown. Here's that, here is a Pixie Dust 318. There we go. Oh, that one actually goes right over there. And then we have a couple sparklers. So here are some sparklers for squares. I got some charcoal, some cloudless blue, and the twisted emerald, which is a beautiful green. So those are the 3 sparkler colors that I got. So as you can see, this is a lot of different colors to have in here, on a lot of different variety to do, but I think it's going to be fantastic. So it's like if we wanted to look at, say what I'm going to do on the monstera, like I said, that was going to be a lot of the dark, like the like deeper colors, a lot of like the browns and green type stuff. So that one, we've got this one, the crystal glitter 3838. I also couldn't decide if I wanted to use the glitter 838 or the crystal 433. So I ended up buying both of these, and I'm going to see which one of these 2, because those are going to be to replace the same thing. I just couldn't decide which one I wanted. So I figured I'd buy the drills and I could lay a few and see which one I liked better, whether it was going to be the crystal or the glitter. And then we have our 3790 and our 779 right here. So this is going to be that monstera on the left. We're putting in this beautiful dark brown pixie dust. We're putting in a paler, lighter pixie dust, also a brown. And then we have this like greenish, tannish brown of a crystal. And then either one of these, I haven't fully decided on which one of these I'm going to use, whether I'm going to use that nice deep crystal color that you're seeing in there. There we go. Now we can pick up those colors, that nice bright crystal brown, or if I'm going to use the glitter. I haven't fully decided, but these would be to replace the same color. So that's 4 different color swaps of browns to add a little extra bling to that portion of the canvas. So that's going to be for like one area. And then of course, like I said, I bought 2 bags of this AB because I was replacing the fairy dust that came in the kit with that AB. But there's going to be, as you look, you can see there's some definite, like, beautiful colors in here. I have a good mix, I think, of ABs. As we see, we've got a couple different glitter colors. I have a crystal confetti, which is one of my absolute favorite types of drill. It looks so cool. The crystal confetti is kind of like a combination of a crystal with that glitter in it, but it looks so cool. I like that look. I'm not somebody that's a huge fan of the crystals themselves. I like them in certain instances, but they're not my favorite. But when it comes to the other ones, I think that definitely is something that kind of stands out. I like the crystal confetti. And you can see here, there's the charcoal sparklers for squares, is pretty blue. And then that beautiful like green color that we're getting in there. So that's the final bling that we're going to have in here. I will probably leave them in their bags and just work out of the baggies since I already have the drills all kitted up. I haven't decided. We'll see how it goes when I start actually working on it. But that is basically how I went about doing this whole bling project. And it's, as you can see, a much more complicated one than some of the other ones that I do. And that's because this is one of the Yuumeis and I really wanted to make it stand out. But I think this will really help to bring out a lot of the colors in our Void Kitty, our Naughty Void Kitty right there. We're going to add a lot of accent throughout that. So I'm really excited for that. But that's all I have for you guys for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this really long view of like how you can go through and do a bling series. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.